Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tomorrow, where our goal is to educate, engage, and grow our local crypto community in current trends, future growths, and hidden gems. Our mission is to 10x our portfolio in 1 year. Before we begin, quick disclaimer: we are not financial advisors, and all information should be considered for educational and entertainment purposes. I hope all of you enjoyed last week's episode. We hit $485.51. We had an initial dip when we launched because the market crashed once we put our money in. So we are trending right about even. Let's jump right into our portfolio. Where are we? How are we doing? It's been a crazy week in crypto. But before we pull it up, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bells and whistles, guys. We really appreciate all of your feedback. Keep the questions coming. We love them. We love hearing from our community. So, without further ado, let's jump right on in. Boom. Here we go. Quick little update of what's going on. This is in numerical order. What were we up the most in? What did we have the least in? First up, Phantom. It's what we talked all about last week, guys. This coin has been going crazy. If you haven't already, check out last week's video where we talked about why we think you should invest into Phantom. Just do it. I don't even want to say it anymore. All right. Phantom, we're at $106.41. RMRK, we are at 88.85. Luna, 77.56. Don't forget that one. We started at 75. BMON, 49.31. XRP, 47.56. UOS, 44.71. PYR, 37.02. Giving us a grand total of $451.45. Yes, that is a slight dip from last week, down roughly $30, but it's okay. There's a lot of volatility going on right now with the market, and we were going to do another coin update, but we thought it was important to talk about what's going on, where we kind of see everything going, and everything relates back to Bitcoin. Everything's going to follow Bitcoin's trends. When Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins go up even more. When Bitcoin goes down, the altcoins go down even more. Obviously, our goal is to 10x our portfolio. So that's why we're invested in those higher risk coins. But I'm going to take time right now to explain to you guys what's going on with Bitcoin. So I pulled it up on Coinbase. I think it's the easiest just to read, especially for those that are new to this market. You can already see on the day we're trending here at 11 o'clock on Thursday on the 20th. Bitcoin's at 43,306.79, up 2.46%. We're going to pull on out, though, for a year. When you start taking a step back, as with most things in life, you really get an understanding of how the market's looking. And instead of being afraid of, oh my gosh, it's down for the day, when you take a step back, you can really see and expect these trends. What you're going to notice is a little wave. And right now, we are coming down off that wave from all the way being at 64,912, 69,000 was our max. We're coming down. Now, the question is, what's going to happen after this downward trend? Are we going to end up going up? Are we going to end up going down? A week view really shows us that you'll see a little bit of a kind of wave up and down going on here. And we've really consolidated around that 41 to 43 phase. Now, there is some speculation, and full disclosure, it's going to be all up to what the Fed is going to do. There's rumors that they're going to print up more money. There's rumors that interest rates are going to spike. There's rumors that inflation isn't going to be taken care of. So all of that fear of what's going on in the U.S. market is going to relay to what happens to Bitcoin and how it trends off of that. Are we going to consolidate in this range? Are we going to go above it? Are we going to come below it? No one knows. And fear is what's pulling people out and really isn't giving Bitcoin the opportunity to explode like it was once doing before. Now, two things can happen. One, Bitcoin can go and drop. If that happens, it's going to be probably because the Fed has decided to print more money or they raised interest rates. Bitcoin will then drop down, and we're going to retest a new market where we were sitting at a long time ago, which was that 30,000 mark. You'll notice how I didn't drop just 1,000. I actually dropped a full 10,000 off of that price because was that other test that it was holding at before it jumped up into the 40s. Now that's one option. The other option is Bitcoin can rally, which is actually started to look like it has already today. Just to give you a day view off of this, it's already starting to come up here. If that happens, if you really start pulling and people decide that, Bitcoin is the future, which I think it is, you're going to start seeing those big retail investors jumping back in. And then if they jump back in, we're actually going to go from the 43 range all the way up to the 52. We're going to test 52. 52, we're going to jump to 61. And then from there, we'll see what happens. We might have another big crash around that 61, 62 range. But I really believe that as of now, this is the golden opportunity. Of course, in the US market and news, things change every single second of every single day. So it's important just to keep an eye of what's going on. Now, with short-term investing, so those that are maybe only in it for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, whatever the case may be, these consolidation periods are great because you're going to have those 3% up, 3% down, 3% up, 3% down. And if you can learn to read ticker symbols and read those candle wicks of what's going on when you look at a nicer chart than what Coinbase gives us here, you can really day trade quickly off of that. Now, that's one option. The other option is long-term. I want to really talk about long-term because it's important. If you go back, like I said, a year, Bitcoin is up 22% in a year. That's very good even for stock market portfolio trades. That's a year's time. Don't get hung up in the day-to-day activities. What's going on today? What's going on tomorrow? Maybe it dropped, maybe it went up. Don't forget, when we pull out this all view, we only go back to February 2017, and we're in this $1,000 range. I mean, you want to go back to the beginning? Look at this. You're in the 400s. If you would have told me back February 2014 that we're in the 400 ranges here, that we're going to hit 43,000, it's incredible. So really don't get hung up and plan how much money that you can invest that you don't need for now and maybe need for retirement. Think long term. I'm investing money thinking 30 years. If this can happen in 10 years, what's going to happen in 30 years? Where is Bitcoin going to be? How much money is going to come into the market? Don't forget, only about, I think they said 5 to 8% of the world's money is currently going into Coinbase. So the more people get involved, the more people hear about it, the more volume of money you're going to have in the market, and the higher it's going to go. 30 years, Bitcoin might be, I don't know, 1 million a coin, just picking a number out of a hat kind of deal. Who knows? Who knows what the future has to hold? All I know is that putting money in now and holding it for the long term is going to be the most beneficial for me. But never invest money that you can't afford to lose. Like going to a casino, you're throwing the money on it. If you lose it, you lose it. You got to be comfortable enough to walk away. But I fully believe that this is money I can keep, not worry about, take it as my 401k, and that's what I'm doing. Another little important advice just to talk about a little bit is taxes. And this is obviously going to only be relevant to those that are here in the US. And I'm going to keep it very specific. I'm trying to keep things simple for you guys to understand, which is short-term and long-term capital gains. What is the difference between a short-term capital gain and a long-term capital gain when it comes to tax purposes? All you need to know, and I want you to do your own research, and maybe if you want me to do a more explanation video about what they are, I can, is that you're going to get taxed at a higher percentage for short-term capital gains as opposed to long-term capital gains. What's the difference? The difference is long-term is considered you holding investment for 1 year and 1 day. So that is 366 days you need to hold an investment without selling it to then get that long-term capital gains and save a huge percentage of taxes that you're going to have to pay to the IRS come the end of the year. Unlike short-term capital gains, that includes my day traders, my week traders, my only a couple month traders, you're going to get taxed at a very high percentage. And it's something to consider when you're investing. Don't forget that if you made $100, you're not walking away with $100. You're then going to owe it to the IRS, depending on your tax bracket and what the whether it's a short-term or a long-term hold, to pay even more money off of it. So when you're putting money in, just a little advice for those who know how I invest. My plan is I will never touch a penny until it's after that 366th day. Because once it hits that point, I know I've hit that long-term capital gains range. I know that I'm saved when it comes to taxes. And yet again, I'm going to pull back a year from Bitcoin. I will probably end up making about this 20% mark increase off of what I invested into it after a year's time. So there's some quick tax advice for you guys. So if you would like me to talk a little more in detail about the difference between short-term and long-term capital gains, throw it in the comments right now. Let me know. I want to do more videos than these market updates. Even though I love doing them, we're going to still do them every Thursday. We want to hear from you, our audience. What do you guys want to hear? Last week, we talked about a coin. Today, we talked about current market trends. Do you want us to put all this information in these weekly videos? Would you like how we did on our channel earlier, do a how-to right here, talked all about Wonderland, how to stake money in Wonderland at 87,000% APY. Who knows if that's even legit? If you want me to talk about that, I'm happy to talk about that as well. Let us know in the comments. We want to get you guys engaged, whether you're watching on Rumble, whether you're watching on YouTube. Comment below, guys. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We are here for you. And thank you guys for joining us on this week's episode of Tomorrow's Crypto. Hit that subscribe button yet again. Let us know in the comments, what do you want to hear from us? Until next time.